Hello and welcome to another video on my channel. This one is about my hair routine after I wash it. If I'm going to do a wash and go, it's not just like as simple as I washed it and I'm leaving the house. I use 3 products usually, so I'm going to be featuring 3 of those today and telling you a little bit about my natural hair journey. Let's get into it. So I got out of the shower not too long ago, but as you can see I have makeup on and my hair is not as wet as it would be if I just got out. So I'm just spraying it down to make sure that it's not super dry. That way it's easier to work the products in and get the curl pattern that I want. Because usually you're supposed to have it pretty much drenched. So it's not going to be like fully drenched, but it'll be wet enough to play with. So let's start the detangling process and sectioning it off. I sectioned it into 8 sections. And then I apply the leave-in conditioner, the Eco Styler gel, and the Diva Curl Ultra Defining Gel to it to get the hold that I want, but also the bounce that I want, because I don't want crunchy curls, but I also need them to not be all frizzy. So those are the products that I use, and I'll be trying out some new products too, and I'll be putting that up to see how they work in my hair and if they're a good recommendation for you guys. And you'll be probably hearing stuff in the background. I'm in a room with my family, so my daughter might say some stuff and it's okay. This is my life. So let's start off by sectioning things off. I don't detangle in the shower, which may seem very weird for some people because some of you guys use the conditioner, you leave it in and you detangle there. But for some reason I noticed that I feel like more hair comes out of my head if I'm detangling in the shower. I don't know why. Maybe it's not really happening, but I think it is. I just see all the hair getting caught in the drain and I need to just not have that happening. So my hair is still a little bit tangly. It mostly gets tangled in the back because I don't know if you guys have a different curl pattern or like my hair is really coarse right in the crown. I don't know why that happens, but that's happening to me. So it's really thick, it's coarse, and it's more dry in the center. So that's usually where most of my tangles happen. So I'm going to, first of all, split it down the middle, and then split the front from the back in each side before I detangle. So I have these really helpful aluminum clips that I use in my hair to get it out of the way. So this is just detangling, like I'm gonna have to section it into even more sections once I'm putting product on it. While I'm sectioning and detangling, I'll just kind of fill you guys in a little bit about me. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio in 1986 when it was not popular to have a interracial marriage. So my dad is white and my mom is black. Because it wasn't very common to have like a mixed kid, there weren't a ton of products for us to use. My mom did a bomb job though, like on my hair. So growing up, like she always made sure that I had the right moisturizers. I think it was mainly like the Luster's pink lotion and then probably like the grease. I think everybody just called it blue grease because it was like in a tub and it was just a bunch of blue grease. So I think I remember that, and maybe like some oils, even like baby oil, I think I remember having in my hair sometimes. So starting off, I didn't have to do my hair, so it wasn't a big deal. My mom did it. But then once I grew up, me doing it myself, I didn't really know what to do. I tried so many products. I tried different mousses, different gels, different, products that I used as a kid, and it just seemed like it wasn't working for me because every time I went to school, like some of the kids would be like, wow, your hair is so poofy, why is your hair like that? And they just didn't understand like what curly hair did when you combed it out, and I don't think I should have been combing it out and brushing it out in T-ways. And they're just really, like I said, it's not like there was a bunch of hair tutorials on YouTube. It's not like there was a bunch of actresses who had like curly hair. I had just missed it, like, so we're talking about the 90s when I'm actually old enough to start doing my hair. I just missed the 80s big hair, curly hair, we're getting perms in our hair movement, and now it's all about straight hair, sleek hair, hair that was controllable and maintainable with very little product. So unfortunately I just felt very self-conscious and I was like, I need a relaxer in my hair. When I got my first relaxer, I was like 13 or 14, and believe it or not, like my hair literally reverted back. And some people say that with virgin hair, your hair will revert back to whatever like its natural state is within like months. And I was like, what is the point of relaxer if it's just gonna come back? And like it's so much work if I have to keep doing this. So I let it go, and then I was just kind of wearing my hair in a ponytail or a braid like all the time. Like that was my go-to style, was I had a ponytail and a braid. And at home I would experiment a lot. I would be up till like 4 in the morning, like on a weekend, just cutting my own hair and using different products, trying different styles. But I never felt brave enough to like wear it any other way besides like a ponytail when I was in middle school. And once high school came around, I asked my mom for a relaxer again because I was just sick of it. Like I just wanted to wear my hair down, and I didn't want it to be like a big thing where as soon as I leave the house after I flat iron it, and this was before the really good flat ironers came out. Like before we had the curling iron and you had like a blow dryer with a comb to straighten your hair. So by the time I was kind of doing my hair, I had like a flat iron or a curling iron, but you walk outside and with any kind of humidity you have an afro. So it was good at 4 in the morning when I was playing with my hair, but it was not so good when I actually had to go outside. So that's why I just asked my mom. I was like, I desperately need a relaxer. Like I really need it basically for my life, to get friends, to have acceptance like I need it. And even though she didn't want to do it, she understood, you know, this is my hair, these are, you know, my choices, and I need to do things that are gonna just kind of help me. I mean, high school is hard enough, but if you just have like a uncontrollable poof on your head and you don't know what to do with it and it's not cute, then what is the point of life? Fortunately though, when I was in, I want to say I was 16 or 17, 15, 16 or 17 when Alicia Keys came out, and she had curly hair, and I feel like this was my first taste of like the natural hair movement, the curly hair being okay. And so seeing her, I was like, she's got braids, she's got curls, and like everybody likes it. They think it's so exotic and so cool. So my mom would braid my hair, and I thought I was like the flyest girl at school, and people would be like, your braids are so nice, ooh, you look like Alicia Keys. And I was like, yeah, I do. So I felt really good about myself with that, but my hair was already relaxed at this point. It's like, it's gonna take a long time for that to grow out, so I wasn't trying to be like completely natural or have curly hair again, but just to be even able to have something ethnic, something that was more like me, or from my mom's side, my mom's heritage, to be able to do that. It kind of felt like I was getting a little bit closer to accepting myself. But after that, senior year, I was like, I'm tired of my hair breaking off. I'm tired of it being super thin. Like I could literally do this and pinch off some hair, like at the end of the hair. And I was like, my hair is unhealthy, it's dry, it's like getting discolored and everything, and I just don't want to do this anymore. So I decided like right before prom to literally cut off all my hair. I think I had a substantial amount of new growth because I hadn't been doing relaxers for a while. I don't even remember why I stopped doing relaxers during high school. I think I was trying to get my curly hair back, and I had like these fantasies about this is what my hair's gonna look like, and I'm just gonna let it like be because other people, you know, are doing it, and apparently it's cool now. So I was doing that and cutting off my hair in the bathroom without telling anybody, and then my mom was like, seriously, like she's doing my hair for prom and it's like 6 inches long, and it's just like, well, I guess it's an updo because what else are you gonna do? And it's just like all one length because I just cut off wherever I saw the straight hair end, or the curly hair begin, and the curly hair end and the straight hair began. I just chopped it right there. And it was so like, I guess I was just brave. I was used to cutting my hair off and doing stuff like that. So now I am about to start adding products. So my hair is detangled, and I'm going to be sectioning off each section into 2, like I said before, and start putting on product. Let's put a pause. Let's put a pin in the story until I talk about these products. So the first thing I'm going to do is wet it a little bit more, because I've talked about this before in videos. The hair, curly hair, just starts drying as soon as you stop touching it. So it's damp, it's not sopping wet. Some people like it to be sopping wet. I like it to be damp because I air dry it, and it's going to take forever if it's sopping wet. So this is actually the Shea Moisture leave-in conditioner, the Jamaican black castor oil one. I put it in this because just dipping my hand in the tub all the time was starting to get like old, and then you get all the hair and stuff in there and you're like, ugh, it's hair soup. So I put it in one of these travel size containers, and then it's good because I can travel with it. So I'm putting like a quarter sized amount, and then I'm going to rub it in my hands and get it all the way through, from not directly at the roots, because I have noticed if I have product too close to my scalp gets really itchy because I naturally have like a dry scalp. I don't need to be scratching my head all day and ruining my curls and stuff. So that's what it looks like after I have that in it. And then I take the Eco Styler gel with the Argan, the Moroccan Argan oil. That's the one that I've been using. My mom actually has helped me a lot in my natural hair journey. My mom, my sister, and I kind of have started this whole accept yourself thing, but we'll get there. So for right now, my mom kind of turned me onto the Eco Styler system, and I love them. So this is Eco Styler gel. You know how those come in a big tub, so I don't want to be dipping my hands in that either. So I put it in a travel size thing, and I'm going to use the same amount, a quarter sized. This is a little bit hard to get out, but it's okay. So I use a quarter sized amount of this also in each section, working it through my hands and then working it through my hair. So that's what that looks like. And then the last step is this Diva Curl Ultra Defining Gel. I use like a dime sized amount of that, just to make sure that it definitely holds its shape. So I'm working through everything from probably about 2 inches away from the scalp all the way down, and concentrating it at the ends, because that's where you want the real curl power to be anyways. And then one more time I'm going to spritz it with water so that it's pretty wet when I comb through it. Keep a paper towel because your hands will get greasy. So here we go, spraying it a little more, and then we're taking this Handheld Denman brush. How many times have I told you guys about this? It's like I'm their salesperson of like the Denman brush. So now we're gonna take this and then comb it through all the way to the ends, just to get all the product worked through. And then this, but because it's like a wide tooth, it kind of starts separating some of the curls the way that you're combing it. So I take it and I kind of want them to stay separate, so I just gently let it start curling up on its own. So you'll see that. And then we just keep scrunching it up. I don't like obsessively scrunch it. I've seen some people scrunch for like 45 minutes. But like I just kind of ball it up in my hands and get it like that. See, that's gonna look really good. That's what you want it to look like. So now I'm just going to do the rest of these while I talk. So we left off at my big chop. I was like, I'm gonna be natural. This was senior year of high school. I'm going into college, and I just wanted my curls, I wanted my hair to basically be what God created it to be. Starting to accept myself a little bit more. But then, I think it was a year and a half into college, I was like, I'm tired of this. I remember flat ironing my hair in the mirror and it taking so long, and I knew, I was like, if I go outside tomorrow, all of this work is going to be for nothing, and I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. So I was like, Mom, we're going to the drugstore tonight, and I'm gonna relax my hair. Or I think I asked her to help me relax my hair, and she was like, well, you need to learn how to do it yourself. And I was like, relax my own hair? Like, I don't have eyes in the back of my head, I can't see what I'm doing. But I think that time was the last time she did it, and she kind of taught me how she sectioned it off. And then I was kind of on my own after that, and I will say I felt like such a boss being able to relax my own hair, because people pay like $60 to $100 for a touch-up. I didn't have that kind of money. I'm in school. I think I had a job, but I'm like, I wasn't about to spend all my money at the salon. So after college, I met my husband in LA. I went out to LA for a trip with my friends. I met him, and then the Lord revealed to me that he was my husband. So I got married, moved to LA, pursued my acting career. So I was on set for a music video, and this girl she had beautiful natural hair. It was like really, really tight curls. Like, she could have an afro if she picked it out, but if she didn't, it's like really, really tiny, tight coils. And she was like, haven't you seen the Chris Rock documentary called Good Hair? And like, they put a Pepsi can in lye, and it like disintegrated, and like, that's what it's doing to your hair. And I was like, yeah, I know, and I'm never gonna stop. I didn't know what to do with my hair, and I'm just so used to using relaxer. Like, it's just a part of my life right now. Every couple months, that's what I'm gonna do. So, and my hair was really healthy despite using the relaxer. Like, using the right products in it, my hair actually did pretty well, and it got very long with using relaxer in it, because I took care of it and I wasn't just flat ironing it all day every day, giving it a ton of heat damage. So that helped for me to actually have length. But then I got pregnant, and I know that when you get pregnant, you're not supposed to have certain chemicals in your hair and your skin. So like, how there's some products where it's like, if you're pregnant, don't do this, or if you're pregnant, consult your doctor. These are gonna look really good. Okay. Scrunchy, scrunchy, scrunchy. And one thing I have noticed, just to interrupt myself, is these hairs in the back that are more dry and coarse, I have to purposely finger coil those to make sure that they maintain a shape of a curl and don't just fall out of pattern. And it's still good to know what direction does your hair curl in, because if you're doing it the opposite way, you're gonna have some problems. So I purposely paid attention to like, what direction is my curl moving in, because I need to make sure that I'm coiling it in that direction. So scrunching it up, and then we're done with that back section. That's gonna look amazing. And if you notice like a cluster like this, like a clump, I would probably like separate that. Yeah, much better. And I throw it behind me. So I stopped certain things, including the relaxer, and I wasn't dyeing my hair anymore, because with the relaxer lightening my hair all the time, I had to dye it black, because I wanted dark black hair, which is my natural hair color anyways, is basically black. So in order to do that, I had to dye it. So I just stopped doing all that stuff, and I was like, well, after I'm pregnant, it is on. And then I realized once I had my daughter, oh yeah, I'm breastfeeding. So I think the same rule applies to people if you're breastfeeding, or if you're pregnant, like, don't do certain things, don't put certain things in your body. So I decided, like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna not do that for a while. I'm trying to remember. I think I had so much new growth that I was like, I'm basically natural, and I'm going on before having a baby, so like, I'm going on all these auditions. As far as the roles that I got, I was ethnically ambiguous. Like, you're not supposed to know what I am as far as my nationality and ethnic background for the roles. But I noticed that there were so many roles for like the curly haired mixed chick girl, and I'm like, I could be her because I am her. It's like that meme where it's like, this could be us but you playing too much, or this could be us but you're not serious, or something like that. So this could be us, but I have relaxer in my hair. So I'm like, you know what, Lord, there's so many products out here for mixed chicks now, or mixed people, or people with curly hair, people with kinky coily hair, anything. I want to see if I can kind of just stop using relaxer and see if my hair will participate in that. And the only problem was, I was flat ironing my hair basically every time that I washed it. Even if you're not relaxing your hair, there's so much damage that you can cause when you're flat ironing it on like 500 degrees every time that you do your hair. So I was kind of wondering, like, how come my bangs never curl up when I wash my hair? Like, I've been natural for this long, like these should be definitely curling up. And it's like, oh, my bangs and the ends of my hair, they would never be curly because I was constantly like always going over them multiple times. So after a while, I kind of asked my mom for some help again, and because she had been using perm rods and doing braid outs and twist outs, and I just figured I could probably at least try. So my kind of big transition, because I didn't want to do the big chop again, my big transition was using perm rods, and that's why I have the tutorial about the perm rod set, because that's how I learned to have curly hair again. And they say that it retrains your curls. I don't really know if that's true, because I didn't really notice it being like, oh, my hair that wasn't curly is now curling up again. It's just that my hair is growing, and as I keep trimming it, obviously I have less straight hair and dead ends and more curls. So after using the perm rods and getting used to different products, I kind of started diving into trying to see if I could do something with my real natural hair. And so I gave myself one last haircut to chop off like everything that was not curly. And I remember washing my hair and sending my family a picture like, oh my gosh, my curls are back, like, and they're everywhere, not just at the scalp or like disappearing at the ends, like they're everywhere and they're flourishing and I'm using the right products for them. So I was so excited about that. Like, I remember the first day I ever went outside with my hair, not in a braid out or perm rods, but just my hair, my curls in a ponytail, and I was like, this is the life. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I just want to be appreciative of what God gave me. He made me a certain way for a reason. You never know, you know, your curly hair could start a ministry. Your curly hair could like set you up for life, or, you know, your green eyes, or your height, or your personality. Whatever it is, God has created you a certain way for a reason. So that's why I'm trying to do more about, like, basically who am I? Like, walking in my authentic self, not trying to be anybody else to please people, because that was the thing that I was doing too. So all in all, I feel like this past year has been a huge overhaul for me. As I turned 31, I was just like, yeah, that's enough of just trying so hard to be something that's not myself. That just takes so much work and effort. So that's where I am now. I'm experimenting, you know, with hairstyles and just learning to love my hair. And, you know, it's beautiful, and I just feel so sad that I missed out on so many years that I could have been really loving my hair, because even when it was curly, it's like thrown up in a bun or thrown up in a ponytail or straightened with like 5 million degree heat. Like, I never truly accepted my hair until maybe 6 months ago. That's kind of my journey, and that's why it's important to me to be putting these tutorials out there, not because I'm like the greatest tutorial person ever about natural hair. You know, self-love and acceptance, that's a big deal. That's something we all need to do better. It's fine to experiment with your hair. It's fine to dye it, to wear wigs, like whatever, but having the right intentions behind it. Like, I was just scared. I just did not like it because it just seemed so out of control and so hard to manage and just a lot of work. So being able to even overcome that fear of like I didn't know what I was doing, and it would never look good enough. Like, my curls would never be on fleek. Like, it's okay even if they aren't. Like be who you are. So this is mainly taking a long time because I'm like trying to talk. So I'd love to know from you guys, like, is there anything that you personally that you learned, like in your heart, like in your spirit, about yourself, if you went natural, or if you're thinking about it, or like, what scares you about going natural? Is there anything that you just feel out of control, or like you just don't have the right tools, or you just tried and you just feel like you keep failing and reverting back or something? We can talk about it. We can encourage you and give you some insight if you have any questions about it. Even if I don't have the same hair type as you, maybe somebody else does. So like I said, these little guys I have to purposely train with my fingers to make sure that they be acting right. Alright, so I'm going to get to the rest of my hair, and I will see you on the other side. So I just finished this section in the front. You can see the definition. I actually had to do the same thing that I did on the backs to have them curl. I do that around what frames my face, just to make sure that those ones are popping really good, because you're gonna be seeing them and everything. So I did that to a few in the front and a few in the side. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in, but before I do that, I just wanted to show you, since I talked about like hair shedding when you wash it, and I wash my hair like about once a week, because I don't want to overwash it and deplete it of its oils, but also I don't want to have a nasty hair. So this is how much came out when I combed it, and I feel like way more comes out in the shower, so I purposely do not comb it in the shower. So there you go. Now you can see. I feel like this should be the thumbnail image, because whenever people see this, they're like, oh, I gotta click on it. And this is pretty much how it looks when it dries, which is why I separate it and fluff it up a little bit, because I don't want to have a jerry curl. And I'll come back when it's dry and when it's time to separate them and everything and show you that. So that's it, and then I will return when it's time to return. And we're back. My hair is completely dry and it's a little crunchy, and this is what it looks like after it has dried a little bit, but it's not like as flat as it was when it was soaking wet, and I did like shake it out a little bit. But what I'm gonna do is go through, and every little crunchy noodle that I find, I'm going to run my finger through it just like that. That gets rid of that like cast on it. I can go through and separate some curls if I need to, but basically it's not like an exact science. It's just kind of like, oh, I feel something crunchy here, I feel something that's like two curls together, let me just go through quickly and run my fingers around it. And I start off in the back, so that I can go from like the underneath to the top layer. And while I'm doing this, since it takes a little while, I guess I could tell you guys a little more about me. This may be the only video you've ever watched, or you just might have not have seen any of our vlogs. I started off this channel actually vlogging because there were so many people who were like, oh, you're a mom now, like let's say people from out of state who were family or close friends, you're a mom now, like we want to see Petra, we want to see Petra. So I started it and I was like, my labor and delivery story, let's put that up there. We're going to her first dance class, we're doing all this stuff. And then but the first videos that I put up about my relationship and things that were more focused on the Lord, those are the things that really stood out. I just checked one of the videos today, the how I knew my husband was the one, and it's at 62,000 views, and that was about a year and a half ago, because I think that was in like May or April of 2016, and now we're in January of 2018. See, as you can see, I'm literally just grabbing random pieces of curls and running my hands through them and separating different curls and stuff. So basically, I have lived in many different places. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. Once I was 8 years old, I moved to Florida. And then we moved to Hawaii when I was 14 or 15. And then I met my husband and I moved to California when I was 23. Yeah, 23 years old. And then I had my daughter. She's gonna be 4 this summer, so she's 3.5 right now. And her name is Petra. My husband's name is Jerrell. He's in some of the videos too. He has really great insight and wisdom, and very, very talented artist, like ridiculously talented. And he's doing a lot of great things in his career too. My husband does painting, graphic design, animation. He has done, you know, films and production and all like directing and writing. He has a comic book that's out that he's working on, a few books that are going to be coming out from that series. And for myself, God has blessed me with many different gifts that I'm still trying to figure out where are these going, like how does this all go together, because I love the performing arts, like all of them, singing, dancing, acting, modeling. I also like writing. I guess, well, that's not technically performing arts, but it's still like an art form, like storytelling, writing. And that's what I've been focusing on, because once I well, I always knew I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And there was like, it was just literally no question to me that I would be a stay-at-home mom. You know how sometimes you just know since you're a kid, like, this is what I'm gonna do, this is how I want my family to be. So that's how it was for me. So, but I still have things that I want to be able to do in life. So instead of, I used to be going on auditions and I would be on set for like 16-hour days with crazy call times and getting home really late and leaving home really early. And I'm like, I can't do that with a kid. And I even started auditioning with her for like mommy and daughter stuff. And I'm just like spending all this time on the road, spending all this time waiting so that we can audition for like a couple minutes and then never hear from anybody again. So my mom really encouraged me to take my career into my own hands and just kind of ask the Lord, what is it that you're trying to do? Because I obviously have no clue. I'm not getting to the places that I thought I would be. So I just was like, God, just use all my gifts and talents and help me. So I've been writing for my blog and then different websites who minister to young Christian women or like mommy type blogs and things like that, just to kind of make sure that my entire life doesn't go on the back burner and become all about being a mom. Even though being a mom is amazing, like, that's not my identity though. My identity is who God created me to be as Kytia, and that's what I'm trying to make sure that I don't let slip and become like non-existent anymore. So that's kind of my story right now. If any of those things bring up topics that you'd like to hear about, like how do you balance this, because some people do message me on Instagram like, how in the world are you doing LA, how in the world are you doing Hollywood, like it must be really hard and it must seem impossible. And it is, if you're doing it the way that the industry tells you to do it. Basically hustle and grind and work yourself into the ground and then kind of make some sense of a career somehow, or just give up and go back home. And I was like, that's not an option for me. I need to be where God is leading me, and he's going to lead me to success. So if it's not happening, that means that I'm just in the wrong lane, or it's just not my time yet, or there's certain like character traits that I need to build up. So that's just keeping him in priority is really helping me in this whole YouTube experience and working with brands and doing things on Instagram and writing for websites. It's just really awakened something in me that I just didn't know I was capable of doing, because it's a lot of work and you're just putting yourself out there, and it's like, if you're not getting up and making something happen, nobody is just gonna sit up and make a video for you, or just be like falling out of the sky like every single job that you get. Sometimes that does happen. Jobs will fall out of the sky, but that is usually not how you make a living and how God works. So as you can see, the difference already between this side being more flat and this side being more fluffy, that's what I like to see, curl definition and fluff. But I'm not done yet. Now I'm going to take this wide tooth comb. A lot of people have a pick, I just don't have one. And sometimes I'm like, if I already have something that serves the purpose, I'm not going to spend the money on another duplicate that is just called something different. So this is kind of like a pick, I guess, but I would just go into the roots. And you can even do this with your hands, like picking it out and adding some volume there, and you will see a big difference in the hair. And that's why I don't try to keep my curls like really tight up to the neck. I like them to be looser at the scalp, or else it's going to be really hard to pick it out, and it's going to leave a lot of tangles, and it's going to be a lot harder to comb out when it's time to. So that's what I'm doing now. This side of my head is pretty much done. My mirror is far away, so I can't see exactly everything, but I mean, you can see the difference between the two sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this side. Walk with us. Same. Nope. Alive. 5. Nope. now it's all fluffed out, and I also give it a shake. We're pretty much good to go. You can wear it like this, or sometimes I style it different ways. I'll be showing you guys how I style it different ways, so look out for that video for a few cute styles that are pretty easy if you're on the go or just learning how to style your curls that is not just a puff or should I say not just a pineapple or a bun or a ponytail or something like that. So that's all I have for today. If you like this video and if you like things like this, please like and subscribe. Comment if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more of these. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, so you can follow me there. And I also talk about faith, fashion, beauty, makeup, all of that stuff. So if you like that kind of thing, then check me out, turn on your notifications to know when I'm gonna post again. Okay, I will see you next time. Bye. Let me make sure the audio is working. I gotta turn off the other thing. There we go. And we're back. I am looking at the microphone. Thanks.
It's a lot bigger than the other one.
Then what other one?